A girl suffers from a chronic illness, but she will be able to save herself from a 10-meter fall into the depths of a tree. This story begins in the home of a Christian family where their only refuge is faith. They mortgage their house to expand it and open the largest animal clinic in Texas. Every month they have a picnic with the members of the church. Their family was very close and happy, until one night their lives changed completely. One of the girls named Anna had an upset stomach. The mother realized that something bad was happening, so after visiting 3 different doctors and all giving her the same diagnosis, this time she decided to travel to another city to see a specialist. The doctor diagnosed that Anna suffers from reflux due to lactose intolerance. As part of the treatment she must follow a strict diet, so they did everything possible to comply with her diet, but it was not enough. As time passed, the discomfort became a stronger and more unbearable pain. The pain was so strong that one night Anna was heard screaming from an irresistible pain. Her parents had to take her to the emergency room at the hospital. There she saw another doctor and again they gave her the same diagnosis. Christy couldn't believe it and indignantly told the doctor that it couldn't be reflux. The annoyed doctor told her, "That's the doctor and that's his diagnosis." Christy became more enraged by the doctor's attitude, began to shout, and told him that she would not leave the hospital until she knew what her daughter had. The doctor had no choice but to do more studies. After a while the director of pediatrics arrived and unfortunately the mother was never wrong. Anna was not as well as the doctors said. She suffered from a complete abdominal obstruction that if not resolved she will lose her life. Immediately they subjected the girl to some uncomfortable and painful procedures in order to perform an emergency surgery. When finished, the doctor explains Anna's condition to them, assuring them that she suffers from an intestinal motility disorder, which has no cure, and they discharge her with strict indications for her condition, but not before telling them that there is a doctor who specializes in these incurable cases and suggests that they visit him. When they get home, the family routine changes, since everyone must keep an eye on Anna. She looks quite weak, although she has felt better, but her abdomen grows disproportionately. Christy tries to get an appointment with the specialist but gets no answer, because he is a very sought-after doctor. As the days go by, her desperation grows more and more since she knows that Anna's days are numbered. Christy feels that her faith is fading even though at church they continue to pray for the girl. To lift Anna's spirits, Kevin gives her a dog named Napoleon. The animal makes her very happy even though it bothers Christy a lot, because it generates more work for her than she can do. The tension in the house increases every time. Kevin and Christy fight about everything to the point that Kristen does not want to attend church anymore. The older sister, noticing everything that is happening, feels sad and worried, so she asks God for Anna to be completely saved, but the opposite happens. For that reason, they decide to travel with Anna to Boston without waiting. The appointment, they were desperate and waiting was not an option. As expected, the doctor cannot see her without an appointment. Christy begs the receptionist, telling her how serious her condition is, the terrible pain she is in and the treatment she is undergoing. The receptionist is moved and sorry, but apparently there is nothing to do but wait for her appointment. Sad and disappointed, Christy leaves and goes to a restaurant where they meet Angela, a beautiful and kind hostess who, upon learning that they are not from Boston, offers to take them for a walk. Since the girl really liked the idea, they decided to stay a few more days. The trip was an excellent idea because they enjoyed it a lot, especially Anna, who visited an aquarium that she so wanted to see. Unexpectedly, Christy received a call. It was an appointment for the next day. They could not believe it. Christy's hope and faith were reborn again. The next morning, as expected, there was Anna, ready to undergo other more in-depth tests for a possible more hopeful diagnosis. They meet the doctor that was so recommended to her, Dr. Nurko. He is a very special man with a unique charisma who knows how to treat his little patients with his jokes and pranks. He makes the children forget why they are there. However, that charisma of the doctor ends when he speaks with Christy, since unfortunately he confirms that she is very serious and with a very strong level of pain. The doctor explains with graphics the incurable obstruction that Anna suffers. He also tells her that both the obstruction and the pain can be controlled with very powerful drugs, but he cannot cure her. When starting the treatment, they must bring her to the doctor every 6 months for a new checkup and confirm that there are no side effects. Christy, with this situation, has lost faith and cannot pray. Her husband understands her. She is very worried. The family is not in the best of economic times, but Kevin does everything necessary so that they can travel and take Anna to her medical appointments. Christy realizes that she is angry with God, and no matter how much the pastor tries to intervene so that she returns to the church, she will not do it. Months later, during one of the appointments with Dr. Nurko, Anna is given more tests to check her up, since she has had a relapse by vomiting, and when she gets over the crisis, she will be able to go home again. There, she makes friends with her roommate who suffers from cancer. Anna tells her that she has a lot of faith in God and that she should not be afraid of dying, so later she gives her her chain with a cross. That night the painkillers had no effect on Anna and she writhes in pain. The girl is already tired and just wants to go home. She can't stand it any longer, and crying she tells her mother that she wants to die to go to heaven where there is no pain. Christy, with her soul in pieces, hugs her to comfort her. The next day, due to Anna's serious condition, Kevin and the girls decide to travel to Boston, but at the airport they have problems with the payment. However, the receptionist, upon hearing the sad little sister, wondering if Anna will die before they arrive, the man was an angel and becomes an accomplice and helps them board the plane, even though he then has to pay an overdraft to the bank. Anna is still depressed and doesn't want to do anything until her father arrives with her sisters, and they all get very happy and turn the room into a pillow game room. When saying goodbye, the doctor recommends that they take Anna to a child psychologist and that they try to spend as much time as they can with her, since family is the best medicine in those moments. Once at home, as the doctor recommended, Christy contacts the psychologist, while Anna goes out to play with her sister and they dare to climb an old tree as they did so many times before. But suddenly a branch cracks. Very scared, Anna tries to climb down, but falls 10 meters into a hole in the tree. Her parents are desperate and unable to do anything. They call the firemen, who arrive immediately with the news correspondent. 3 hours later they have not been able to get her out. Apparently she is lifeless since she fell head first and does not respond to her name. Christy can no longer bear the anguish and kneels at the foot of the tree to pray and implore God to save her, while the firemen work to get her out. Hours later they succeed. She is certainly unconscious but still alive, so they immediately take her to the hospital. There the doctor who attends to her is very surprised because she only has a few small scratches and some minor injuries. The girl is intact without bruises, without blows, or wounds, or fractures, something impossible considering the conditions of the fall. Already at home as the days go by, Christy realizes that Anna without taking medicines is no longer in pain, plays like a normal girl, and her abdomen has returned to normal. One day, Anna tells her parents something strange that happened to her when she fell into the hollow of the tree. She tells them that everything went black and she came out of her body. It was very strange because she saw her own body, but she was not inside it, and there was a beautiful butterfly. At first she did not know where she was, but she felt safe. It was a very beautiful garden. Then she walked among the clouds listening to what God was telling her. She wanted to stay, but God told her that she had to go back, assuring her that she would come back healthy. The parents decide not to tell anyone for the moment, since they will not believe her. With doubts, Christy takes her back to Boston to confirm everything that her daughter says. The doctor is very surprised because everything is now working perfectly. He looks for a scientific explanation since he cannot understand how something that has no cure has been able to be reversed. But when he sees Anna he realizes that what has happened is a miracle, and he says goodbye because he knows that he will never see her again. Anna and her mother say goodbye to Angela, thanking her for everything. In a short time, her story appears on all the news. Christy has recovered his faith in God, and, in front of the church members and news cameras, he begins to tell what he experienced in the face of this great miracle. After recounting everything he suffered with Anna's illness, he ends by saying that there are miracles everywhere, that sometimes they come in the strangest ways and with people who only cross our path once and friends who support us no matter what. Miracles are love and God is love. God shows us that we are not alone. After hearing Christy's words, some people did not believe that Anna was so sick. It was really hard to believe it. But they did believe it after listening to the father of Anna's partner in the hospital. He attests that Anna was very ill and that thanks to Anna, his daughter changed in her last days of life. She felt safer and felt that God was with her, because Anna gave her faith and also peace. So he came from Boston to thank Anna and her mother for telling her story. Christy also thanked him for coming. Everyone is now happy at home, and before eating the long-awaited pizza, they all pray together, thanking God for the food, for being together, and for all the blessings He gives them. Now they enjoy each day as if everything were a miracle. This story is a real-life case. Click on the following video so you don't miss the next story.